Hi, in this video I'm going to be talking about animations and how you can make your landing pages just look a bit more fun as the user loads the page and as the user scrolls. So we have this page here, and it's like a classic landing page for a software as a service or anything really. We have your main sections and all that stuff. When we load the page here, everything is just on the page, right? As you scroll down, everything's just there. We can do some interesting stuff. So let's do some animations. Animations can be applied to everything. They can be applied to sections, rows, columns, elements, opt-ins, like any element or anything in this thing inside of Pulsator can be animated. So let's just do something quick here. Let's click on this headline text. The animation settings are always going to be at the bottom of the sidebar panel here. So we have three main inputs for your animations. We have the trigger. This is when we want the animation to trigger. For example, we can have this animation trigger on when the page loads, or when the person scrolls to that element. Since this element is on the top of or above the fold, we're going to have it on page load. And then we have the style of the animation. We can have it fade in. We can have it fade in with scale, where it fades in, then gets bigger, then goes back down. We can have it fade from the left, fade from the right, fade from the top, and fade from the bottom. Let's just have it fade with scale. And then we have your delay in milliseconds. So we have 500 milliseconds is going to be half a second. This is the delay once the page loads. 500 milliseconds later, the animation is going to trigger. This is great for if you want to stagger your animations, so you have animations run in sequence. You just have to time them correctly. And I'm going to show you that real quick here. So we're going to have this headline here pop in, fade with scale at 500 milliseconds on the page loads. So I'm going to hit save here. And then I'm just going to reload this page here. So as you can see, the headline here just got bigger once the page loads. I'm just going to redo that again so you can see it. Alright, so that was cool. So now let's have a staggered animation. A staggered animation is like a sequence of animations. So let's make this. Once this comes in, I'm going to have this button slide from the left. So we're going to go down here, we're going to have trigger on page load, and then we're going to have it slide from, or fade from left, and then instead of having it at 500 milliseconds, I'm going to give it to 1000 milliseconds. So half a second later, it's going to slide in from the left. Actually, I'm going to make it just do something simple like fade with scale. I think that might look better. You're probably going to want to experiment with animations, because sometimes some stuff looks good, sometimes it doesn't, depending on the element and your page. Hit reload here. So you can see that the headline here was faded in and got bigger, and then the button came in afterwards. So it gives it this nice effect here, so I'm just going to reload the page here. So now you can see that the page just looks more welcoming, and it gets your attention right away, because you're like, oh, something moved, there's interaction, and now if I roll over I can see stuff. We can do, that's how you edit elements. I'm going to remove those animations now. I'm just going to go down here and click on no animation. Go back to this text here. Go down here to no animation. Hit save. Alright, so I'm just going to show you how you can animate an entire row. So we have this entire row here, and we have all this information inside of it. So let's click on here. Let's go down to the bottom here. Now we have the same settings, so we have a trigger, the style, and the delay. I'm going to have it trigger on page load, and it's going to fade with scale at 500 milliseconds. Hit save. So now this entire section here, this entire row, with all these elements are going to fade in once the page loads. So as you can see, that entire section popped up. So now we don't have to stagger the animations, so which is really nice. I'm just going to do that again so you can see how that happens. So now that's just a nice way of animating an entire section. You can animate entire sections too. Let's just do something ridiculous just to show you how this works. This is probably not going to look good. I'm going to animate this entire section here. So this entire top section here, I'm going to have it fade from top for 500 seconds. And then let's see if we can do a stagger animation here. Let's make this happen 100 and 102. Let's reload the page here. So as you can see, the top comes down and then this pops in. It doesn't look that bad. I thought it would look a bit worse, but So as you can see, sometimes animations aren't good for some things, sometimes they're good for other things. It's important to note, just like, don't go crazy with animations because they can make a page look pretty crazy really quickly. So using it sparingly is probably the best idea. I'm just going to remove the animation here. Alright, so now we have this animation here, which looks pretty good. What I want to do is when they scroll down, I want to have these areas fade in. So I'm just going to go to the row, go down the bottom, I'm going to go to animation and hit trigger on scroll, and I'm going to have it from bottom, and I'm going to give it 500 milliseconds, and then I'm going to have, what else do I want to animate as they scroll? Let's have this animate as well. So when we have on scroll, and then this is going to come in from the left. So I'm going to hit save. Go back to our page here, hit reload. So now we have that come in. Now as I scroll down the page, as you can see, this lower area as nothing, and then once we get to it, around to that point, it's going to load in. So if I scroll here, now that just came in from the left. This is great for longer sales pages when you have a bunch of stuff on the page and you want to get their attention. So you can start getting their attention as they scroll, things start popping in. So I'll do that again. So we have here, this main text will pop in. As I scroll down the page, we have that pop in and we have that pop in. Another more advanced thing we could do, I'm just going to remove this animation here. I'm going to have these animate these columns. So right now we're animating the rows. So let's go down here. I'm going to remove that animation for this row. I'm going to go to my columns here. And then we have this left column here. So on scroll, we're going to have this come in from the left. And then if I go back to my columns, we have the center column. I'm going to animate that on scroll, and we're going to have it from the bottom. And I'm going to stagger the animation, so it's going to be 1 millisecond. The other one was half a millisecond, or 500 milliseconds. Now we have the right column. Go down to animations, hit on scroll, and I'm going to make this 1500 milliseconds. I'm going to have it come from the right. Now this should provide something decent. Let's go here, reload the page. Then we have this animation here. So let's roll down the page here. And then we have that come in. And as you can see, that came in first, this one came up, and then that one came up. That's what I mean by staggered, as we have the timing correctly. Let's just do that one more time. As I roll down, we have add questions, write it down, mark it as done, which is great. And so now, as you can see, you can start adding more oomph to your page and something that's more interesting by adding animations.